So I would like to do the extremely bizarre thing of graph a, and I am telling you now that this is a line, okay? Because there is no reason at all that you should believe me at this point. Because this is not, in fact, a reasonable presentation of a line according to anything lots of you have seen before. So here I've said, okay, the x's, they're 3 plus 2t. And I didn't tell you anything about t, right? And y is 1 plus t, and I didn't tell you anything about t. Cool? Okay, see that? But there's a t in both of these things, right? That means that both x and y depend upon some kind of t value. Okay, see that? So I can make a weird table. Wait, is x really the thing I want to start with? Why are you all shaking your heads? You guys see that? T doesn't seem to depend on anything, right? It seems to be what everything's given in terms of. But if I give a t, right, then x follows. If I give a t, y follows. So really here what I have is kind of a funny thing. This is a function from one variable into two variables. You guys see that? We haven't really talked about functions yet in here, so I don't know where you all are at with functions in your head. But let me maybe delineate like this, right? There's an input and two responses. Does that help? So what's a good choice for an input for t?
0.
Excellent. 0 is always an excellent choice for an input. Unless, of course, you're dividing by something. All right. 0 is usually a good thing to try first, at least. If t is 0, what's x?
3.
3. And what's y?
1.
1. Okay, so how the heck am I going to graph this business? I told you this is a line. It should live in the xy thing here, right?
So do we disregard t and just go with the extra point?
Ah,
And then put point t equals 0.
good. Right? I need to somehow incorporate the t, but I would really like to get rid of it. Okay, see that? The t doesn't really seem to matter in terms of drawing this xy picture, right? So where's the xy point that goes with 0, 3, 1?
3, 1.
Yeah, it's at 3, 1, right? So I go over 3 units, up 1 unit, bam, there's my dot. And maybe then I just label that dot goes with t as 0. A thing you might consider here is that t is, I don't know, maybe let me just think about it as a time variable. Right, if t was time. Then maybe my line would be like the path that something takes through space. You guys see that? Or the way this little slug crawls or whatever, right?
So the line would just be the time it takes to, say time is, that's nothing.
So the line would be the places the slug goes, and that t is 0 would tell me that at time 0 the slug is there.
Yeah.
So where's the slug at time 1?
5 and 2.
5 and 2. Okay, so I go 5, 2, bam. That's t is 1 again, or t is 1, right? I'm labeling the time. What's your next favorite point after 0 and 1?
-1.
Good. You can see the students I've had for help because they're really well trained. So -1, when I plug -1 in, what do I get out?
1.
1 and 0. Okay, so that's here. Can you guys tell me about the slope of this line?
It's 2.
Yes, slopes. Close. So here's the line I'm talking about, right? Good. Yeah, it's a half. What'd you do, Megan?
I switched which one was the rise and which one was the run.
Yeah, totally understandable. So this has 2 run, right? For 1 rise. So 1 over 2 gives me my slope is, so I might look at this thing and think, slope is 1/2. Cool. You guys see that? Yeah.
Couldn't you just put t equals to y minus 1 and plug it in?
Yes, you definitely could. So you guys see that this thing includes time information, right? This thing is not just the path of the slug, but when the slug was there. But I could get rid of that time information by saying, okay, this second equation, right? We could rearrange this guy as y minus 1 is t. What's the step you did to get between?
Just oh, yeah, you subtract.
Okay, it was subtract 1 from both sides. And then,
Plug it into the
yeah, and then take this stuff, plug it in up there for t. You guys see that? Then there aren't going to be any more t's, right? So once I do that, I'll get the equation x is 3 plus 2y minus 1.
Times 2.
So some of you have observed that when you're substituting, you need the parentheses, right? Cool. So that gets me x is 3 plus 2y minus 2 gives me x is 1 plus 2y. And then if we wanted to solve for y, right, that would give us our usual equation here. Cool? Questions, concerns, things? How's the parametric different than the regular one? Yeah, there's kind of an extra line in your table, right? And that keeps track of what time things happened at. Is that useful information? I don't know, maybe. So it should be noted that the time information is the thing that the Star Wars missile defense thing gets wrong most of the time. It's not that it can't hit missiles with a laser, it's that it can't hit the missile where it is with a laser. Right? It goes through the right space, it just doesn't actually hit it when the missile's there. Cool? Well, yeah, it's not cool, it doesn't work.